Welcome, everybody. It's your girl, Delores, just the pink girl in my pink world here on every social media now. And my good brother, J News. J News, you got anything to tell the good people today?
It is Sunday, March 9th, 2025. For those of us who are in the portion of the world that believes in daylight savings, welcome to your life an hour later. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all for wherever you are and for wherever you're at. Uh, we're back here, Hit the Ropes podcast, another week that was in pro wrestling. Going to cover everything that we can in order to update everybody and catch everybody up on the goings ons in the pro wrestling world. So stay tuned and welcome.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the goodness of good because when we get to the previews, you all going to remember the 15th, your sister is not going to be able to be contacted because I got a whole bunch of stuff to watch. But ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're ready for the previews. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Hit the Ropes podcast, and it's time to review everything. Okay, so we're going to start off with WWE. I'm gonna do half today. J News gonna do half because your sister's still sick. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Raw. On the 3rd, we had a non-title match with Tozawa facing Gunther, and Gunther beat that man. He beat Gunther beat Otis. Sorry, I'm thinking about the time before. Gunther defeated Otis. We had a WWE Women's Intercontinental title match. Lyra Valkyria defeated Ivy Nile. WWE Tag Team title match. The Royal Raiders defeated the American Made. And for the WWE Women's World title, we had Io Sky defeating the champion Rhea Ripley to win the title. J News, did you see any of this, and what did you think?
I saw this. Saw this on Monday. The Gunther match yet again was used more to drag out the feud between Gunther and Jey Uso. Really, Jey Uso made another appearance post match because obviously Gunther beat Otis the way that he did. He beat down Akira the way that he did after the fact and things of that nature. So obviously Jey Uso in for the save. Not so much a save this time around. The Bird Lady at Lara Valkyria gets another win. I didn't see Ivy Nile winning this match at all, but it was an interesting way to get Lara Valkyria a different opponent in this way. Decent showing by Ivy Nile, but Lyra continues her winning ways with the Intercontinental Championship. The War Raiders and American Made had a terrific tag team match. The War Raiders showing off their brute force, and American Made showing off their brilliant technique inside and outside of the ring. So great match between those two tag teams there. And then the match of the night that basically steered the women's world title match into a specific direction going into WrestleMania. Now with Io Sky being the women's champion, defeating Rhea Ripley in a way. It was a clean win, but Rhea Ripley was heavily distracted. And we're still going with the effects of Rhea Ripley being trusting of people, thinking that she has friends, and making the mistake that she has friends, and things of that nature. I don't see it that way, the way that she sees it. But hey, I think that sometimes you just got to be able to focus on what's at hand instead of paying attention to the wrong people around you. So there's that, and that's how Monday night went about, and it sparked off a week that was great for women in professional wrestling. So I just wanted to start off by saying that. But decent episode of Raw, nothing great, nothing grand.
For those who don't know, I had Uh, I watched this match and I really liked it, the Io Sky Ripley match, because I kind of thought Ripley was gonna win just to face Bianca, and then when it switched, I was like, "Whoa!" Now it's kind of twists and turns. If you all haven't been seeing it, the Street Profits on social media, their like vignettes are like making me hype for them again. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be going on to NXT. It was NXT on the 4th on CW. Sol, Ruka, and Zarya defeated Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. We had Jada Parker defeat Kalani Jordan. Jordan Grace defeated Cora J by referee's decision. Trick Williams defeated Kale Dixon by referee's decision too. It was referee decision night on NXT. And for the WWE North American title match, Shawn Spears defeated Tony D'Angelo for a title change. Also, look, kids in the background, just ignore them.
Yeah, it was a strong showing for the ladies on the card. I thought Sol Ruka and Zarya looked really good against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. So that was a good match for the girls as they continue to build more chemistry. Jada Parker put a whooping on Kalani Jordan. Miss Jada back on TV after not being on TV for a bit. So it was nice to see Kalani and Jada back at it. Not too sure if they're going to continue that feud or not. There wasn't, to me, it wasn't too decisive here, even though Jada got the win more from a story perspective. It didn't seem like there was a definitive end there, so we might be continuing down the path with those two ladies going into whatever next PLE is for NXT. The Jordan Grace versus Cora Jade match was a referee's decision stopped due to the fact that Cora Jade got knocked for a loop during the match. During the match, the match was stopped because it was believed that Cora Jade had a knee injury, but that was not the case. It seemed that Cora Jade suffered a mild concussion during the match, and she did not have her wits and her bearings about her. She was pretty dizzy in the corner and could not stand and or keep her balance, which is why it was a good call by the referee to stop the match. Trick Williams, I'm not too sure if that was a referee's decision. That was more of a quick win. He just put the trick shot on young Kale Dixon, and he beat his ass at the end of the day. Trick Williams just exerting his dominance as it is, and I believe Eddie Thorpe came out after Trick Williams' match yet again, throwing more barbs at him on the microphone. So they're continuing their feud there. And I think Javon Williams came out at one point to try to get him some, but then that got thwarted by security and things of that nature. So we're seeing Trick Williams with this new attitude and this new side of him really grow into his own. So we'll see as to how Trick Williams.
I think they called it a referee, which is stupid. They called it a referee decision because after he knocked him out, the ref started waving his hands like it's
Yeah,
over.
yeah, he couldn't get up.
Yeah, he couldn't get up, so he won it. But technically, they were like, because the referee was like, oh, he no longer could fight. Then that was the referee's decision. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that
But
that was a bit, but that was really more or less to show the attitude and the new side of Trick Williams and things of that nature. So it was effective nonetheless. So good job there by those at NXT Creative with Trick Williams. And then the main event match, which saw Shawn Spears win the North American Championship from the Don. I wasn't necessarily expecting that, but it happened. Shawn Spears is finally a champion at the WWE level. Happened after I don't know how many years, and good for him, I guess. But it seems to be going in line with whatever a story they are telling on television for Shawn Spears. Him putting together this new group and just how intimidating and fearsome they are, and him being the leader of that group, had to come to a boil at some point, and him winning this North American Championship made that the case. So Good on them. A funny bit where Sean Spears, when he got to the back, usually when anybody gets a big win in NXT, they get congratulated by Shawn Michaels. There's a bit of wrestling history between Shawn Michaels and Sean Spears. Uh, many decades ago, in a segment in the back, Shawn Michaels at one point super kicked Sean Spears, who at that point in time on TV for the segment, Sean named Stan, and he super kicked him out of nowhere. And Sean Spears this time around, after being congratulated by Shawn Michaels, just stared him down. He still hasn't forgiven him after all these years. And didn't want anything to do with Shawn Michaels and stuff like that. Also keeping in character with just how dismissive and brash she's been as of late. So good on Sean Spears for the win. We'll see where the Don goes after this loss. But decent NXT show nonetheless for the company.
Yes, yes, yes. Listen, I learned some new things about this. Sean and him still keeping up these on screen things that he does is great. Also, Sean, I'm surprised you still doing this super kick with them tight pants you be having on. Shocked me. Okay? Because we get that super kick on Kevin Owens. I was like, sir, I felt like you were gonna break some bones, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go on to the next show, which is Friday Night SmackDown, and just happened this Friday on the 7th on USA Network. We had a non-title match of Tiffany Stratton defeating Piper Niven for the WWE Tag Team title number one contendership triple threat match. Pretty Deadly beat Los Garza and Motor City Machine Guns. Braun Strowman defeated Solo Sikoa by DQ. We had a WWE Women's United States title street fight where Chelsea Green defeated Michin. Drew McIntyre defeated Jimmy Uso. For the WWE United States title match, LA Knight defeated Shinsuke Nakamura in a title change. Um, I think out of all the things WWE has done this week, the title changes have been great, but also that Naomi and Bianca and Jade whole interaction, because most people would not realize Naomi just hit the Rikishi. I did it for you. I was like, that really? I was like, oh my God, they hit me with a flashback, but in a different way.
Yeah. I think that was the first thing that I thought of when she was in there. Uh, Dolores talking about the segment between Naomi and Bianca Belair. Um, and when Naomi said that she did it for Bianca, I was like, well, I guess we know where this storyline came from. At least for those of us who've been watching WWE long enough to understand it, there was a storyline. I believe it was either in the late '90s or the early 2000s or whatever the case is, where Rikishi uh, basically said that whatever antics he was up to, he did it for The Rock and things of that nature. Because he's family and all that jazz, and Bianca and Naomi here doing what they had to do in order to continue to thrive as WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and Naomi believing that she had to do right by Bianca and right by her for herself and things of that nature. I don't think the storyline ends here. There is more to this storyline than meets the eye. It's not as cut and dry as people want it to be. And for those people thinking that this is all Naomi's doing, I believe you've got something else coming. But for the other matches, the Tiffany Stratton match versus Piper Niven, that was actually a pretty good match. The Tiffany Stratton feud with Charlotte Flair, which I have to mention because Charlotte came out after the match and put a figure eight on Tiffany Stratton, has not been built up strong so far. They still have another 6 weeks left until WrestleMania, so they could definitely turn this feud around and things of that nature. But for right now, um, they're not helping Tiffy and they're not helping Charlotte with how they're developing this feud. The tag team number one contendership triple threat match was really really fun. Good shout to the boys from Pretty Deadly for finally getting a win here and getting a shot at those tag team titles. Um, the Braun Strowman versus Solo Sikoa match ended via DQ. Braun Strowman eventually put Jacob Fatu through a table sometime during this match. Um, and we're probably going to see a one-on-one match between those guys not too far down the line in the future. The Chelsea Green match versus Mi Chin. I'm sorry. I love me some Mia Yim. I really really do, but this has grown tired on me at this point with how many matches they've had. It was a good way to introduce the newest member of Madam President, aka Chelsea Green's member of her Secret Service, aka Slagent A, aka Alba Fire, aka Kaylee Ray, the other Scottish woman on the roster. Uh, she came in to do her misdeeds to cost Meechin the match and um, extract the eagle from the
Yeah, I
situation.
figured Kaylee had to somewhat be involved somewhere in WWE because even before Friday, she was listed for the WWE ID. We'll preview it on the Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, and so I was like,
No, we're talking about different people.
no, I'm thinking about the Kaylee Ray. I'm assuming it's the same person because she's wrestling
No,
for the WWE ID, right?
no. I mean, I'm talking about Alba Fire. Alba
No,
Fire's Alba Fire's original wrestling name is Kaylee Ray. You're talking about
oh
Kylie Ray, which is
yeah,
different. Yeah.
that's what I'm
Smiley
thinking.
Kylie Ray. She's definitely WWE ID. And she's I think she made her debut. She's either gonna make it this week or she made it this week. I forget where or whatever. But yeah, we're talking about two.
She's part of Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. That's who I was thinking about because I was thinking about you talking to. Because I didn't watch that match because I was sick of it. I'm very sick of it. I love Mi Chin outside of the ring, and I love her wrestling. But as far as character wise, it ain't hitting.
Yeah, I hear you. The Drew McIntyre stuff, it continues to go. It seems that they're he beat Big Jim, but Damian Priest came out during the Drew McIntyre match to continue their beef. So it seems that Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest will be, or they're on a collision course towards WrestleMania, which is fine by me. And then LA Knight defeating Shinsuke Nakamura for the U.S. title was a decent move because the WWE doesn't seem to know what to do with Shinsuke Nakamura. They have good ideas for him at times, and then they drop the ball, or they're inconsistent with it. And they weren't able to do anything with this new found character for Shinsuke. Um, LA Knight is not as hot as he once was, but he's probably the stronger of the two characters on television right now. So I think it was the right decision to put the belt back on LA Knight for the time being, and then they can eventually get the belt off of LA Knight by putting it on probably one of the younger wrestlers and things of that nature, one of the newer members on the roster, be it a Carmelo Hayes, maybe an Andrade down the line or something of that nature. Somebody new, because that whole mid card title scene needs a revamp on SmackDown. So, yep, that's pretty much it for me on SmackDown.
Listen, I just want to say I feel like shout out Tony Wrestler. If you ever seen her on social media, hilarious. But me and her on one point. The way my brother Cody look, oh, we got to fight, Travis. We got to get out in this field and fight, okay? Look what you do to my man. Cody looked like he had been in a 20-round boxing match and lost. I said, you know what? Can't have it. I don't know what Travis gonna do, but he got to get a receipt from somebody. Somebody got to give him a receipt for that because that was bad. And also the fact that Cody had the opportunity to turn heel, I was like, I appreciate that because Cody is already a heel. If most people haven't figured it out, he's the sneaky, manipulative person who gets you to do everything. Like he's the person in one of those K-pop dramas that will trip you up and then look and be like, "Oh my god, my arm hurts." That's the kind of person he is as a character, and I appreciate that because he makes you want to cheer for him. But sometimes he turns into that evil character, like he did with Kevin Owens, where he'll try to take you to the upper room, and most people don't pay attention to that. So I appreciate that. And good brother Cody, you're gonna have to slap Travis into the 15th row after what he did to you, because that was unnecessary. He had them rings on. He hit that man hard. Travis, like me and Tony, we on the same page. You're gonna have to get a receipt. I don't care if it's outside, inside, around the corner, around the block. You're gonna have to catch a receipt from somebody. Okay, doing my good brother Cody Devontae Gonzalez Armthal Rose like that. You can't do him like that. But you bring your butt to the A. Okay. On to AEW, ladies and gentlemen, which we'll be previewing a pay per view that should come on in about 5 or 6 hours. We'll do that in a minute. But ladies and gentlemen, AEW, we're gonna start off with AEW Dynamite. Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen. It comes on TBS, HBO Max. It came on the 5th, and it was 283. Powerhouse Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs, and the conglomeration, along with Orange Cassidy. They consisted of Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Will Ospreay. Defeated Brian Keith, the Don Callis family, Brian Cage, Lance Archer, and Mark Davis. Cope defeated Willa Yuta. Megan Bain and Penelope Ford defeated Chris Statlander and Thunder Rosa. As you see, it was a 40-second match where Jay White defeated Max Caster. Kazuchika Okada and Ricochet defeated Brody King and Swerve Strickland. Jay News, do you have anything you want to talk about this show?
It was a strong go home show for AEW here, going home into Revolution, which will be taking place later on tonight, live in LA. I thought that all the tag matches did what they were supposed to do. By the end of the first multi-man tag match, we had after the conglomeration eventually beat the Don Callis family, I think technically. They were then the conglomeration team that was essentially Will Ospreay was then cornered by members of the Don Callis family and then strung up, and Kyle Fletcher then was able to hit a suplex of what was it? It was a brainbuster suplex into a chair. At that point in time on Will Ospreay, definitely giving the perception that Will Ospreay had severely injured his neck going into their cage match tonight at the Revolution. So we will see how that all turns out. I expect it to be nothing less than a great match between Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay going into Revolution tonight. Cope defeating Wheeler Yuta in what was at first a very highly technical wrestling match. Didn't know Cope had that left in him. So that was cool to see. And then it really then turned into more of a psychological match between Cope and Wheeler Yuta. Cope defeating Wheeler Yuta and then essentially messing with Wheeler Yuta's mind enough where Wheeler Yuta basically left Jon Moxley behind. After Jon Moxley came into the ring berating Wheeler Yuta after Wheeler Yuta lost his match against Cope, and Wheeler Yuta just walked out on Moxley, which leaves Moxley all by himself without anyone left going into Revolution. My hope is, from my personal opinion and bias and perspective, is that they end this Death Riders storyline tonight on Revolution, but I do have a feeling that they're going to continue it some way, somehow. But the hope is that they end it. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford defeating Chris Statlander and Thunder Rosa was actually a very good match for the ladies. they were able to make up for their mishap on TV the previous week. So that was a good thing. I thought Megan Bain looked super strong, just showing off her strength and things of that nature. Penelope Ford looking like she was definitely focused in this match, to say the least. So that was a good thing. Chris Statlander looked strong. Thunder looked strong. Great match for the ladies. Max Caster continues his goofy losing ways. Jay White made it a point after him defeating Max Caster to get on the microphone and letting the AEW crowd know that ever since Cope has gotten to AEW, that Cope has had Jay White's back, and Jay White is going to have Cope's back come Revolution if he needs it. My internal uh, my internal thought process is that Jay White will eventually turn on Cope at some point in time to get back to where Jay White feels like he deserves to be, which is in that AEW championship title picture. We might be able to see those developments happen tonight on Revolution if they book things in a good sequential storyline driven way. And then the Kazuchika Okada versus Ricochet and Ricochet versus Brody King and Swerve Strickland match was fun. To open up the show, we got the Ricochet and Swerve Strickland contract signing bit that opened up the show. I thought it served its purpose. It did what it was supposed to do. Ricochet was talking his mess. Ricochet did not come out with the embassy robe this time around. He told Nana not to worry about it, that he's doing some quote unquote alterations to it. So we will see what Ricochet ended up doing to the embassy robe come tonight. But instead of Ricochet having or going one up on Swerve during the contract signing, as usually happens per wrestling tropes, Swerve had the upper hand. He was able to thwart Ricochet and his use of a scissor. Swerve had his own scissor, and he busted Ricochet open and made him taste his own blood. So we will see how much farther into the abyss of violence Ricochet descends into tonight versus his match versus Swerve Strickland, which will probably be another point in the evolution and maturation of Ricochet's character on television. I'm looking forward to that. So we'll see as to how that match ends up. And then what else? That's about all I have to say there. I don't remember anything else off the top, be it from a promo. No. Let me not forget the my favorite promo of the night. The ladies, Mariah May and Toni Storm, made it their business to make sure that everyone knew that their match should be the main event at Revolution. There was a point at the beginning of the show where Toni Storm did a cheap and quick plug for the movie that she's in, Queen of the Ring. The writer and producer of the movie, or the writer and the director of the movie, came in to do some promo for the movie, which Renee was there for, and then Toni Storm said her bit for it, and they did a goofy wrestling bit there. But it was also to preview a future segment with Mariah May and Toni Storm, that they were going to have a sit down with Renee. They had that sit down close to the end of the show. I thought that was probably some of the best TV AEW's ever done, and it was less than 3 minutes long. The way Mariah May is playing this character going into Revolution, I think, has been her best work since she started her descent into madness with this whole Toni Storm storyline, and the way that Toni Storm was able to deliver her lines and stay unbroken and unfazed during that whole entire exchange, and basically tell Mariah May that even after everything she's done and the monster she's become, that she is going to basically wallow in obscurity after this is all said and done, and she will just be another mediocre wrestler. uh, it was primetime TV. So the ladies killed it on AEW TV this week, and I wanted to mention Mariah May and Tony Storm because that segment was so strong, in my personal opinion. And yeah, man, shouts to Tony Khan for putting on another good episode of Dynamite. So just wanted to put that out there for everybody.
Now I did see that, and I do remember that, and that was a good episode. I kind of was like, "Oh my god, he's kind of putting it together finally." But also, shout out to Naomi who went to that Queen of the Ring with that neck brace on to match her dress. I was like, "You said I'm gonna take this to the limit," and you went there because rarely do you see people still kayfabe it even outside of the ring because they're like, this is my personal life. She kept it going, and I give her credit for that because I don't know if I would have showed up with that expensive gown on and a diamond studded neck brace.
I mean everybody who was involved in the making of the movie was at their premiere. I think the premiere was done on Thursday. And whoever was involved in the movie was able to make it out. Like Dolores was saying, Naomi was at the premiere there with her neck brace on. Also during the premiere, we saw Mariah May attack Tony Storm on the red carpet during the premiere. So they kayfabed it up during the Queen of the Ring red
And
carpet.
that's something that we rarely see because you remember, like, MJF was supposedly written off TV and he showed up on the red carpet looking just fine. And I was like, this the women know how to do it. They know how to, keep it alive, keep it going.
Yeah, it was a good thing. It was a good thing. So shouts to the ladies for continuing on with their storylines this week.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're back to going for a lunch and a picnic over at, you know it, ROH, Ring of Honor. I saw it. I tried to watch it 2 or 3 times. Each time, me not feeling good, I kept going sleepier and sleepier each time. But Ring of Honor was 106 on the 6th from ROHWrestling.com. We had ROH Women's World Title match. Athena defeated La that's J News word. Catalina?
Catalina,
Catalina.
like the Catalina wine mixer. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I haven't had alcohol in a minute, and probably after this show, I needed it. Uh, we had Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh defeated Callian and Slade. Billy Starks defeated Milo. Every time I pronounce this child's name, it's wrong. Milo. I think I did it. Non-title tag team match: the Sons of Texas defeated John Cruz and Jay Newer.
I have no idea who this wrestler is.
Illumi, I just say it.
Olumide is how I would say it. Olumide.
See, that's why you gotta keep a J News in your pocket because you can't do it. The Beast Mortis defeated Sonico. They had a lot of different new people on this show. That's another reason why I was like, we could have kept this. Bandito and Gravity defeated the Infantry. Thunder Rosa defeated Brittany Brooks. Gates of Agony defeated Bad Dude Tito and Che Cabrera. Sorry. Blue Panther Jr., and Dark Panther. Sorry, because when I saw it and I saw it on this, and like when they were wrestling, I was like, so they just brought every Panther out. If you could be a Black Panther, Blue Panther, Red Panther, you was in this match. Defeated J News. These are all of you.
Uh, This is another CMLL tag match. So they defeated Euforia, Gran Guerrero, and Valiente.
Did you see any of this, J News?
I saw bits and pieces of it. Just from common sense standpoint, I didn't understand Thunder Rosa being on ROH TV. Yeah,
Again, I don't know who she done pissed off.
I didn't understand that particular portion of it, but hey, she got a match against young up and coming Brittany Brooks. So that was a positive for Brittany Brooks. Had never heard and or seen of Sonico before. But another decent match for the Beast Mortos, as he usually has on and everywhere. I was glad to see Gravity back on ROH TV. Him and Bandito, very close friends and or Carnales brothers. They took on on the infantry. That was a fun match to see. It's always a fun time, always a good time to see my brother, the good brother, that bad dude Tito, on TV. It was cool to see him there in that tag match against the Gates of Agony, even though I'm not a fan of the Gates of Agony. Should I say I'm not a fan of Total Leone or whatever the case is? Bishop Khan's a dude. He's that dude. And then the Panther family. These gentlemen are family. There's Blue Panther. There's the son, Blue Panther Jr., and then there's the cousin, Dark Panther. They're part of that family and things of that nature. That lineage over there in Mexico. And I thought that the best match of the night was the Athena match versus La Catalina. La Catalina is basically one of the more popular and strongest women's wrestlers on the CMLL women's roster currently, and her taking on Athena, I thought was a cool thing to see on paper, but it was another thing to see it on video stream, whatever you want to call it nowadays, and things of that nature. It was a really, really good match. Good showing by La Catalina on ROH TV. Hopefully she gets other opportunities to wrestle some of the other ladies on AEW television somewhere down the line. Billy Starks getting her reps in. It seems like Billy Starks will eventually go into maybe she'll go into a feud with Mercedes Moné before they reach the pinnacle that is Athena versus Mercedes Moné later on, probably going into All In. But Billy starts getting her reps up against another young female talent in Milo. So outside of that, I didn't see any of the other matches.
Listen, listen. All these matches, you didn't need all these matches. Tony, we were doing good with like 5 to 6 matches on ROH, and now you doing all of this again. I'm telling you, my nerves were wrecked because, as you all know, I was not feeling good, still not feeling good, and you have to sit there and watch all of this. Then they have all these backstage promos, in ring promos, and you at a certain point, you like, cut it. You need to cut it. That's what I was saying because this is over with. I was so done with it because also why is Thunder Rosa down? Why are we having a lot of the women that come down that should be going up, and it's I'm just over it. That's all I have to say. So that's it for ROH, ladies and gentlemen, because you ain't gonna get nothing good out of me after this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go on to Collision, which happened yesterday. If it lets me go to Collision, there we go. AEW Collision, ladies and gentlemen, was on yesterday, and we had the ops of Hook and I like the name. The name gets me every time. The ops of Hook and Shibata, along with Samoa Joe, defeating Jack Banning, Starbird Charlie, and Titus O'Neil. The Outrunners defeated the Premier Athletes. Harley Cameron defeated, I'm never gonna say Tavik.
It was she has a Slavic name, so it was weird for me to see it when I saw it last night. But the lady that the girl that if people watch enough AEW television, including ROH, she was one of the girls who was in Athena's backstage promo during
Yeah,
ROH.
I remember seeing her, but I just never her name was just.
Yeah, so
And
she
then
has a
even when
very
they said it on
strange.
camera, it was just like, what?
Yeah, she has a very strange to pronounce first name. We're sorry. We should be able to get with it, but I think, and this is just my belief in general, if you have a hard name to say, be phonetic about it and make sure people know how to say it. So
Yeah, because Queen Aminata, initially, a lot of people had struggled with
yeah,
Aminata, but it was after she broke it down one day,
yeah,
and she's like, Aminata. I'm like, okay, I got you, girl. I
yeah.
got you.
Be
I got
phonetic about it, man. Like people need to understand, like it's your name. Make people say it the way it's supposed to be said. You
you. Yeah.
know, don't make people don't have people out here struggling for no reason. You know, so yeah, that.
Listen, if J News can't say it, I know I definitely can't. Okay. Hologram defeated Dralistico. Momo Watanabe defeated Serena Deeb. The Undisputed Kingdom, defeated the infantry. And for the AEW TNT title match, Daniel Garcia defeated Lee Moriarty. J News, what did you feel about this show?
Yet again, it was a decent show. I wouldn't say it's been one of the stronger collision shows in recent weeks, but it wasn't bad. It was good to see some of the LA based indie talent out here. Shouts to Starboy Charlie. Starboy Charlie's been out in the indies for a while, man. So there's that. And Titus Alexander as well, because we've seen Titus Alexander mentioned on this show many a time. So that it was cool to see them on TV, but they were just it was just another week of the ops beating up on another six-man tag, another six-man tag team, and there's only one of the members of the opposing six-man tag team that gets the beatdown, and the other two dudes don't get to do anything. So there was that. The Outrunners had a decent showing versus the Premier Athletes. I honestly did not know Tony Nese and Arya Daivari were still around. So that they're still a thing. Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd proving out to be the victors in this particular match, coming out strong. By the end of the match, the Hurt Syndicate came out, basically trying to do the same thing they did the week before, having the Hurt Syndicate, We Hurt People music play to distract the team into a loss. But this time, the Outrunners were able to outsmart that tactic and still get the win over whoever their opponents were, in this case being the Premier Athletes. Harley Cameron had a good showing versus Tate Vick here, the young lady who I mentioned was part of. She is a minion in training over in ROH now. With it also seems that she was also a minion in training with Johnny Robbie. But anyways, Tate Vick looked strong too during this match. She was able to get some good offense in against Harley Cameron. So it was a good showing for Harley Cameron, basically playing the underdog in this match and coming from behind to get the victory here with a young lady who's her junior in the wrestling industry. So there goes that. The match of the night. The match of the night. If anybody wants me to recommend the match of this week, this is the match. Hologram versus Dralistico. Hologram versus Dralistico was not only the Lucha Libre match of the week, it was the wrestling match of the week. This match was a banger, a certified banger from beginning to end. Go out of your way to watch Hologram versus Dralistico. Lucha graps to the nth degree. Man, what a match. And they didn't continue anything storyline no, BS. Because after Jalisco lost the match, Beast Mortos came out and he went to go beat up Hologram to help Hologram. At the end of it, Commander came out, but the Beast Mortos and Jalisco did have the upper hand by the end of that particular exchange. But the one-on-one match between Hologram and Jalisco was a banger. Go out and check that out. Momo Watanabe and Serena Deeb was also a tremendous bout on Collision. Serena Deeb still showing as to why she's one of the best in-ring performers that there is, and Momo Watanabe just showing off her strengths going into her match with Mercedes Moné tonight on Revolution. So that was a good showing for Momo Watanabe there, and Serena Deeb. Hopefully, we get more Serena Deeb on AEW TV coming into the future. The Undisputed Kingdom tag team of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong is probably one of the best tag teams to ever be formed outside of Redragon when it comes to the OG ROH guys. They're always going to be a strong tag team. They were a strong tag team in NXT. They're a strong tag team on ROH. They're a strong tag team here on AEW, and the infantry continues to grow on me week on week. Those dudes are very talented. Carly Bravo and Sean Dean with Shane Taylor Promotions doing good work there. And Daniel Garcia, the TNT champion, defeating Lee Moriarty in a decent match. I want to see more out of Lee. I feel like Lee Moriarty has a lot of talent, but I feel like there's more to bring out of Lee Moriarty. And I think Daniel Garcia did a good job of having good in-ring psychology with Lee during this match, with the ins and outs of the match and things of that nature. Daniel Garcia's TNT title reign seems to be what I thought it was going to be, which is him basically getting out of his matches by the skin of his teeth. He seems to be that champion right now, not necessarily the underdog, but just finding any and every way to win. So Daniel Garcia continuing to learn how to be a champion on the AEW roster. But it was a good match, but it wasn't their best match. But good looks on Danny for looking out for the homie Lee Moriarty in this match to spotlight him on ROH TV because Lee's talented, man, and I think that he just needs more time on TV and more reps in the ring, and he'll be the better for it.
Yes, yes, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that was an echo for a second. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was a good show. I did watch it. It did watch me sometimes. We watched each other. But now we're on to TNA Wrestling Total Nonstop Action. Ladies and gentlemen, TNA Impact 1076 was on the 6th on Access TV. We had Elijah defeat Brian Myers. Savannah Evans defeated Zaya Brookside. Mike Santana defeated John Schuyler. AJ Francis defeated Steve Backlund. The Northern Army defeated uh, Ace Austin and the Rascals. And a non-title tag team match, the Hardys defeated the Colognes of Eddie Colon and Orlando Colon by DQ. J News, did you see any of this?
No.
I would say it was okay, but it wasn't like a go home show. Well, it's technically not a go home show, but like leading up to that pay per view, it really wasn't too exciting. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go on to the next thing, and that will be Revolver had a show on the 6th called No More Sorrow, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to go back, that was on Triller TV. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Revolver title number one contendership match, Steve Macklin defeated Gringo Loco. Deanna Perrazzo defeated Rachel Armstrong. Jake Chris defeats BDE. Uh-huh. Don't let your mind go there. PWR Tag Team Title three-way match. Alpha Sigma defeated First Class. Revolver Eliminator match. Dark Pledge defeated Big Pound, Dante Leon, Jeffrey John, JJ Garrett, Junie Underwood, KJ Reynolds, Nathan Davis, Rahit Raju, and Ryan Mathis. Okay, I would just say this pay per view was pretty. This show was pretty good. PW Remix title match. Crash Jackson defeated Alan Angels. We had a grudge match. The Macabre, which was Death Knight and Crew, defeated Ace Austin, Damian Chambers. For the Revolver title match, Myron Reed defeated Zachary Rentz. I know you didn't see that J News, but it was pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, my favorite show, GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, had a show on the 2nd. It's called Just Be Honest. I mean, I say that all the time. And y'all will find out while I stop some stuff on my channel because I need y'all to just be honest. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it was on Triller TV on the 2nd. JCW title match. Masha Flamovich defeated Rob It. You know, I really can't say that word too much. Brooke Havoc defeated Sandra Moon. Los Desperados defeated Microman Ray Aris and Abismo Negro Jr.
Absolutely, you got that right. There you go.
Yay! See, I'm learning. Jimmy Lloyd defeated Jordan Cruz. The Cougar brothers defeated Fuego del Sol and Sam Stackhouse in a match that I absolutely loved on this show. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Mance Warner. For the GCW Tag Team titles, the Garbage Daddies defeated the Crush Boys. GCW World title match, Effie defeated Super Crazy. That was pretty good. And the death match, Dr. Redacted defeated Cyclope. Okay? Did you happen to see any of these J News?
I did not.
I would suggest you go watch this Zack Sabre Jr. match. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to J News's favorite thing in the world. It is New Japan Pro Wrestling. And we are going to do the New Japan Cup.
Yeah, New
So
Japan Cup kicked off on the 8th of March and not on the 7th. They weren't able to kick off the show on the 7th due to actual functional problems with the ring. One of the ring posts were damaged, and they were not able to start off the show on the 7th, so they started off on the 8th, which was yesterday morning. We had the kickoff match, which had two of the young lions of Katsuya Murashima defeating Daiki Nagai in a spirited bout. We then had Hiroshi.
we had Hiroshi Tenzan and Kojima, Tiger Mask, Yoda, Yuji Nagai defeat Hiroki Goto, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Homna, and Toriano. We had El Desperado, Phantasmo, and Jado defeated United Empire, Great Khan, Jacob Austin Young, and Jeff Cobb. We
Yeah,
had
sorry about that, folks.
no
Little
problem. We had
interrupted there.
United Empire, Callum Newman, and Francesco Akira defeat Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, and Tetsuya Naito.
Yeah. So we then had the New Japan Cup first round matches. We had Yuri Uemura along with Taichi and Taka Michinoku defeat Sonata, who had Taiji Ishimori flanking them by the side. It was an interesting entrance by Sonata with some goofy glasses and a T-shirt that I cannot. You know what? I can't because Dolores can't, but I can. So the T-shirt that Sonata had on for the majority of the match basically was a T-shirt that was worn by Sonata in commemoration to Yuri Uemura. That said on the T-shirt, "Motherfucker, you're still a young lion." So that was funny to me. Good gag. But Yuri Uemura was able
When I got
to.
it, I said to myself, I see why I love you now.
Yeah, so Sonata trying to endear himself with the crowd there. We then had the other first round match. It was Evil versus Yoda Tsuji. Evil got the win here with more House of Torture shenanigans. Obviously, he could never beat Yoda Tsuji one-on-one straight up without the shenanigans. They in this particular match, the shenanigans were Dick Togo coming out late during the match, pulling off the Mr. Fuji, as I like to, as I like to say, with some powder in the face of Yoda Tsuji, then a low blow, then into Everything Was Evil, and then Evil gets a win there. Ryohei Oiwa went one-on-one against Chase Owens in what was a decent match. Ryohei Oiwa getting the win there over Chase Owens, and then we got the match of the night. The way that this match goes, the way that any match with Gabe Kidd goes, Gabe Kidd one-on-one versus Ren Narita, with Gabe Kidd basically putting on a show and putting on the raw definition of what it is to personify New Japan Pro Wrestling in 2025, and basically making Ren Narita step up to Gabe Kidd's level in some way, not completely, and getting the best match out of Ren Narita that he could. Probably the best match I've seen from Ren Narita in the past 2 years. So good showing by Ren Narita, even though there were still some House of Torture shenanigans involved in the match. But Gabe Kidd still came out with the win. He still had that crowd behind him. He's so New Japan. He's so about New Japan. He's waving that New Japan flag so hardcore nowadays that it's they gotta ride that wave, man. So that's the way I just wanted to break down the show that happened yesterday on the 8th. We had the show on the 9th that happened this morning, which I have yet to actually watch, but we'll give you guys the results. We had the kickoff match. We had Toriano Yoshihashi defeat Daiki Nagai and Katsuya Murashima. The Bullet Club members Chase Owens and Sonata defeated just 4 guys, Taka Michinoku and Yuri Uemura. TMDK members Hartley Jackson and Ryohei Oiwa, along with Zack Sabre Jr., defeated United Empire members Jacob Austin Young, Jeff Cobb, and TJP. Bullet Club War Dog members David Finley, Gabe Kidd, and Gato defeated House of Torture members Ren Narita, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Yujiro Takahashi. House of Torture members Dick Togo, Evil, and Show defeated Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, Shingo Takagi, and Yota Tsuji. And then we had the other side of the block for the first round matches on the New Japan Cup. We had Oleg Boltin defeat Bad Luck Fale. We then had the Great Okan defeat El Phantasmo. Ooh, that's interesting. We had Drilla Maloney defeat Tomohiro Ishii. Saw that coming. Tetsuya Naito defeated Callum Newman. Yeah, saw that coming too. And then to end off the night, we had Hiroki Goto and Hiroshi Tanahashi defeat Satoshi Kojima and Yuji Nagata. Due to the fact that Hiroki Goto on the 12th will be going one-on-one with Yuji Nagata for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship in a special singles match.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the preview. Boo, 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 boo. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get to the upcoming week in wrestling. And we're going to start off with AEW. In a couple of hours, me and Jay News will be watching this. You can watch there are two ways. It is Revolution. And I will tell you about all of them. Well, there are multiple ways. First of all, I'm going to go over the match that was set. I think they've added some since then for the pre-show, which you can watch on YouTube on the All Elite Wrestling's channel. So it was a 6-man tag: Johnny TV and the MXM Collection, Mansoor and Mason versus Big Boom AJ and the conglomeration of Mark Briscoe and Orange Cassidy. That will be on YouTube. They will have some other show other matches on the preview, and then that's how you watch that. When you come to the actual Revolution pay-per-view, it's on Triller TV. I remember them saying Amazon Prime because I saw it on there, and any of your pay-per-view providers, or however you choose to get it. Okay, when I say however you choose to get it, if you get it in a certain type of way, that's on you. I ain't tell you to do that. I'm just saying that's how it is. Ladies and gentlemen, on the regular pay-per-view, you have AEW Continental title match, Kazuchika Okada versus Brody King. In the AEW World Tag Team title match, you have the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin versus the Outrunners of Truth Magnum and Torboy Floyd. AEW World Title #1 contendership match, you have Ricochet versus Swerve Strickland. For the steel cage match, you have Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. AEW international title match. I want to call it intercontinental for some reason. International title match: Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega. AEW Women's World Title Hollywood ending match. It is Toni Storm versus Mariah May. Adam Page versus MJF. AEW title match: Mercedes Moné versus Momo Watanabe. AEW World Title match: John Moxley versus Cope, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so with these, we did not put the matches on there because you know what? It's only had 2 or 3 things listed at the time we did this. It was not available. But I can tell you, on one bracket, we have Yota Tsuji Evil, David Finley, Yuya Uemura, Sanada, Yoshihashi, Jorge, Jay News about to get me, Jorge Oyawa. How
Okay.
you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
Jay New's like, yep, you did it finally. Zack Sabre Jr., Gabe Kidd, Ren Narita, Taichi. On the other side, we have El Phantasma, Great Khan, Shota Umino, Tetsuya Naito, Callum Newman, Jeff Cobb, Tomohiro Ishii, Drilla Maloney, TJP, Bolton Oleg, Bad Luck Fale, and Shingo Takagi. Ladies and gentlemen, and on that show, on that show is on the 11th, and we'll have a second round match of Zack Sabre Jr. versus his opponent. We'll also have a second round match of Yoshihashi versus his opponent, and we'll have a New Japan Cup 2025 second round match: David Finley versus his opponent. Ladies and gentlemen, TNA Wrestling. We are having TNA Sacrifice, ladies and gentlemen, on the 12th. And on TNA Sacrifice, let me see. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Before I go into that, we also have a New Japan Cup on the 12th. Okay, and on the 12th we'll have a second round match of Tachi versus somebody and Shota Umino versus somebody. Now we're on to TNA Sacrifice. TNA Sacrifice, you can catch the countdown on YouTube and the actual pay per view on their app TNA Plus. Okay, there's nothing listed for the pre show, which is on YouTube. So we'll get into the actual pay per view itself. We have Mustafa Ali versus Mike Santana. I can't wait for that match. I like Mike Santana's matches lately. We have a 10-man tag team cage match. Elijah, Joe Hendry, Leon Slater, Matt Hardy, Nick Nemeth, and the Colognes versus the System of Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, all of those. TNA X Division ladder match, Moose versus Jeff Hardy. That lady, that's what I'm going to call her, that lady Blanchard versus Lee Ying Lee. We have a street fight, Sammy Callahan versus Mance Warner. Ace Austin and the Rascals versus J News, Tariq
I think it's Iguwe.
Iguwe,
Yeah.
Tyson DuPont and Wesley. And for the TNA Knockouts World title match, Masha Slamovich versus Cora Jade. Ladies and gentlemen, back to me. Sorry. We have Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, and they have two shows. On the first day will be on the 14th on Trilla TV for the WWE ID Women's Tournament quarterfinal match. Kylie Ray versus Zoe Sager. Sager, I think that's how you pronounce it. We have the Jericho Cruise Oceanic Title 6-way scramble match. Mo Jabari versus Taiji Ishimori versus Stu Grayson versus Brent Banks versus Rich Swann versus Michael Allen, and Richard Clark. We have the Bia Moss versus Tyler Rising. Kaito Kayamiya versus Sheldon Jean. NWA World's Heavyweight Title match, Lattimore versus Bishop Dyer. Sorry. Listen, I'm tired. 15, the 15th, the next day, we continue on with the street fight with PCO versus Michael Allen Richard Clark. That's his whole name. I'm sorry. And for the PWA Champions Gale title match, uh, Rohan Raja versus Rich Swann. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to New Japan Cup on the 15th. This is the start of my day of hell. Uh, we have New Japan Cup 2025. No matches. The final match, quarterfinal final match, nobody's listed. Nobody's listed for the second quarterfinal match, the third quarterfinal match, or the fourth. So we have four quarterfinal matches, but nothing is listed at this time. So we'll get there. But they do have a match listed for the IWGP World Heavyweight title, Hiroki Goto versus Yuji Nagata. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're on to my favorite thing, GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. It is ashes to ashes, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, Ashes to Ashes takes place on the 15th. The second thing I got to watch. On Trilla TV, Atticus Cougar versus Fuego del Sol. Tournament of Survivor X qualifying match. Dr. Redacted versus Hoodfoot. Yep, I said that. John Wayne Murdoch versus Mr. Danger. Watch yourself. GCW Tag Team Title Match. Garbage Daddies versus the Legion of Rot. We have the GCW World Title Match. My boy Effie will be defending his title against Slade. Ladies and gentlemen, also on the 15th, it is the HOG show City of Dreams on Triller TV. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the matches listed. Danhausen's versus Mantequilla. That's how you say it? Mantequilla?
It's Mantequilla.
Mantequilla. See, I almost got it close. Almost. Joey Silver and Jay Bougie face off. HOG Tag Team Titles versus Career 2 out of 3 falls match. We have the cold blooded killers of Jay Armani and Raheem Royal versus the main event, Jay Lyons and Midas Black. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Defy. And guess what date it's on? The 15th. There are no matches listed for Defy Aftermath on the 15th. So probably will be on Triller TV. I don't know how that'll go, but if there's a Defy, there's a Delores. So I'll be watching it too. Ladies and gentlemen, on the next day, on the 16th, there will be a New Japan Cup show, and this will be for the semifinal match. There's nothing else listed, so there's nothing else you have to worry about. So, ladies and gentlemen, that comes to the end of our previews and reviews. And now it's time for the good brother J News to talk about his spotlight. So let me get J News and his spotlight together.
So I wanted to talk about women's wrestling this week in particular. The reason as to why I wanted to highlight it, outside of the fact that yesterday was International Women's Day, it's you know, I think that this week has been such a strong week for the ladies across the board, on all companies. If I'm being completely honest, um, a lot of praise being heaped towards the ladies in this last week, due to not just matches but also their character evolutions and talking segments and things of that nature. I mentioned how the week began for Io Sky when she won the WWE Women's World Championship for Rhea Ripley. But even before that, we had some of the ladies from Stardom get some 5-star ratings love from Dave Meltzer. Tam Nakano and Saya Kamatani had their match, I believe it was last Saturday. Um,
I think so.
and they tore the house down. They had an epic match on that Stardom show. Um, so the Dave Meltzer, the world renowned Dave Meltzer, the Dave Meltzer that the internet likes to shit on, finally gave a women's Joshi match 5-star rating. So I wanted to make sure to highlight the Joshi wrestlers as well, because those ladies are always in Japan killing it. So the ladies over in Stardom doing their due diligence and doing their thing, as well. So there's that of it. Like I mentioned, Io Sky on Monday, Bianca Belair and Naomi during their segment on Friday for SmackDown. What Toni Storm and Mariah May have been doing with their particular feud on AEW, be it on Collision, be it on Dynamite. They've been killing it. I'll throw Jade in there because she's involved, because she's the figurehead of that whole feud that involves that Naomi and Bianca Belair were able to get off on SmackDown, even though she hasn't been on TV for months. So, but it's based around who took her out. So throwing Jade in there for having her in there. Also, got to give a shout out to the other ladies on AEW TV, be it a Chris Statlander, a Megan Bayne, a Penelope Ford, a Queen Amanada, um, and Thunder Rosa and stuff like that, because those ladies have been killing it as well. Can never not mention our forever ROH champion Athena for always being who she's been in the last year or so. So I just wanted to spotlight women's wrestling this week because it's been at the forefront of professional wrestling this week. And shout out to all the ladies for putting in the hard work and killing it. And also having to do with women's wrestling is the movie that is out in theaters this week, Queen of the Ring, indie film, executively produced by Jim Cornette and Jim Ross. We have professional women's wrestlers involved in that movie. Naomi's involved in that movie. Toni Storm's involved in that movie. Camille's involved in that movie. So shouts to the ladies who participated in that movie and shine through. So shouts to the ladies there as well, because this movie is about how women's wrestling became a big deal in the states in the 40s, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, and how once it was illegal and then it just turned into a money making thing, and it just promotes women's wrestling in general. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the movie as well, for promoting women's wrestling, and on top of that, having current women, actual women's wrestlers involved in that movie, was something uh, to talk about as well. So women's wrestling spotlight of the week here on Hit the Ropes podcast.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's get back to the studio. Hey, J News, how you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's time for the best part of the show. That's when J News gets to tell you about himself, and I also have my caption for today. My caption for today is, "Yo, tap in with the good man, spitting facts. Follow him on all socials and stay locked in." That's the hood version for today for J News to go and get his stuff off. Make sure you go check out this good man, Savannah, and let him tell you about himself.
As always, appreciate you folks watching on a weekly basis here on the Hit the Ropes podcast. I am your good brother Jay News. As you can see, my QR code here to the side. My QR code gives you all the links to all my different socials. Be it breaking it down, my socials on the QR code are my letterbox I use there to basically journal all the movies I go watch at the movie theaters, and as well I do written reviews on Letterbox. So check out my reviews on my Letterbox there. I also have my audio podcast and movie review link on my link tree there for on the QR code. If you want to check out some older movie reviews from the last 2 years or so, check it out there on the podcast. John L., your friendly neighborhood moviegoer. Also, check me out on my other associated wrestling podcast that I do during the week. I go on to True Heel Heat on a bi-weekly, 2 weekly basis, talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. This week, I had the pleasure of coming on and talking about AEW. I'll be on True Heel Heat tomorrow doing the Revolution review with SP3 and Jimmy Rackaram. So pay attention to that. When it comes about, you can catch me on my socials, be it on the Twitter machine, be it on Instagram. Yeah, that's really all I use, to be honest, from a social media standpoint. I don't use Facebook. I don't use TikTok. I don't use Blue Sky or anything like that, or whatever the case is. Trying to minimize the use of social media as much as I can, from a personal standpoint, let alone understanding I have to have it from a professional standpoint. But follow me on Instagram and Twitter on there, folks, so you can get your weekly fix of your good brother J News. But yeah, that's all I got for now. So appreciate y'all, and thank you, Delores, as always.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't go and check out, I don't know why they popped up like that. If you don't go and check out that good man, J News, he's a good man, Savannah. He's a good man. Okay? So now we're gonna pop down. Now, this is the point where I'm gonna keep this contained, okay? Because ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out the Hit the Ropes podcast, QR code with me and J News. I know we might be 2 or 3 episodes back on Spotify, but we're gonna get that done sometime soon. Your girl's not feeling good. But we will get it done. Okay, make sure you check it out. As far as me, there has been a lot of changes that you all have seen upon my channel. Okay, because you can catch me right here. This is how you can support me right there, catching my QR code. It's also the link in my bio. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Canva, there are a lot of tutorials on the channel. As of right now, I won't be doing it anymore on this channel. I will be, you all can contact me if you want to get some help with Canva, technology, different things, because I'm more than Canva. I use technology, period. I editors. all those things. If you want some information, holler at your girl. And this is the best way to holler at me at Delores Designs is to reach me either by this phone number or by email. That's the best way to get in touch with me. Okay. Um, Listen, we all know that times are changing, and there will not be any Dolores's raw reaction tomorrow or in the foreseeable future because your girl is trying to get better. I am sick, as you all can hear, as you all can see. I'm just tired. And I am going backward instead of going forward. And so I think it's time for me to take a little rest. Okay. Sometimes you got to rest. I know J News gets on me about this, but sometimes you got to rest. And it's mania season coming up. So I need all the energy and rest that I can get. Ladies and gentlemen, I have appreciated you all support. Don't think I haven't gotten a lot of people who message me and be like, "Hey, how you doing? Are you okay? Do you feel better?" Shout out to Ruby and ARD and Ten and Auntie Ellen and Miss Shirley OG and Tampa and those people who have reached out to me to just be like, "Are you okay?" Yes. I just need to pause this for a minute, get back to full strength, and then come back. As far as the Canva goes, I have been out here Canva grinding for months and years now, and at a certain point, I realized nobody want my help, so ain't no sense in me wasting my time for it. Okay. So now I might do some funny videos. As you saw last night, I dropped 3 funny little shorts. One of them has been going crazy. But I just like to have a good time and save my time. And so that's why we are kind of editing and going over the channel and been working with people to kind of figure out what I should do um, going forward. So sorry for during this time of change, but we'll be back, and also we'll have a special edition on in April. Not, I think it's on a Tuesday. You said J News Tuesday.
Yeah,
The special,
Tuesday,
yeah,
that Tuesday after the Monday of WrestleMania.
yes, because
Mhm.
your girl might just save up her energy and do the 24-hour streams. That's like 3 or 4 shows a day. Um, That way, when we get to Tuesday, you all can be like, "Oh yeah, Dolores did this, Dolores did." Yeah, so we can do that. So I appreciate all of you all supporting me and J News here on the channel, because we gonna be the only ones left. Me and J News, we gonna ride it out on this channel. Listen, if I ain't got nothing else, I got to hit the road podcast. I'm gonna make sure that thing come on out. Okay. So I appreciate you. Thank you again for everybody's support. And let me get back to let me hide that, get back to J News. Because J News need me. He need me. I need to go back. There we go. Now I'm back. Okay. So, J News. With all that being said, for those who don't know, on my side of the channel, I have dropped a lot of people who have been very supportive of my channel. Their links come out into my chat. Make sure you click it. Also, if you're in here in my chat and you want to put your channel up front, make sure you do !pink. It'll drop your link into my chat. Thank you, Nightbot. I finally got an assistant to help me help myself. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let me try to get my voice back. Ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said, me and J News, mostly J News today, okay? We've been dropping them gems, and all of a sudden I smell J News, you smell that? That's gasoline. Oh my god, J News, it's on fire. We have set a blaze, okay? It is burning all around us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna give y'all a little secret for those who don't know. There's a place called Workhorse Wrestling Network. Type that in the chat now. Type that in your search bar on YouTube. Workhorse, all one word, Wrestling Network. Okay. I will be starting and monitoring their chat, but they're doing Revolution tonight. Okay. So make sure you go over there and support them, please. So they can tell you all the good things. They like to have a good fun. You might learn some things. You might learn not what not to do if you haven't seen that short. My good brother Sammy decided to ask me, can he mix protein and alcohol together? I would say no. J News, you agree? That's not something that should be mixed together?
If he's talking about powder protein, yeah, I'm not gonna recommend anybody do that.
No.
No.
And Jay News is a fitness expert. If y'all want to go ahead and go and make sure you go over there and check him out.
Mm.
Make sure you check him out. Because, Sis K been losing weight off the little tips he give me. Okay? I'm this week, 7 more pounds down. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, while we sitting here, me and Jay News got to get out of here. It's getting smoky. The fire's burning. I'm hot. Jay News over there sweating. That's why he got the towel. We over there we burning. We got to get out of here. And I know something that might help, Jay News. It's like water and a good fan. It is if we cut the lights out, Jay News. Cause baby boy, baby girl, please keep your clothes on. I know it's on fire, but we ain't trying to see all that. Okay. And until then, we want to say